Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Konstantinos Kitrou. I'm a computer science tutor, and now we're moving on to Microsoft Excel lesson 2, where we focus on simple calculations in Microsoft Excel. So I have already opened the last file we have used in lesson 1, and I will insert one more spreadsheet. We have just one in our workbook now. You can insert as many spreadsheets as you like, so just by clicking on that plus circle button right there. So we have now spreadsheet number 2, and I will make you a simple calculation now. I will insert number 5 in cell A1 and number 3 inside cell A2. And now let's say that I want to calculate the sum of 5 and 3. So whenever you want to insert a calculation, make a calculation inside a cell, you click on the cell that in which you want the result to be shown, and you always start with the equals symbol. So I type 5 plus 3 and I press the enter button. So the result is 8, which is correct. But let me show you something else. I go to cell B1 now, and I type again number 5, like in cell A1, and inside cell B2 I type number 3. So now instead of typing 5 plus 3, I always start with the equal symbol, B1 plus B2, and then I press the enter button and I have the same result. So now the question is that result in A3 cell the same one with B3? I will show you the difference right now. I will select the B1 cell and I will make a change. You can change the value of every cell you like just by clicking on it and typing straight away the new data. So let's say that I replace 5 with 10 and I press the enter button. So now the result in B3 has changed automatically to 13 because the B3 cell depends on the content of B1 and B2. I can see that also when I click on B3. Inside the formula bar it says equals B1 and B2. So those three cells have a relationship now, and whenever I change B1 or B2, it affects actually the result of B3. That doesn't happen at A3 cell. Let me show you. For example, I type 29 instead of 5 in A1 cell, but nothing happens, nothing occurs in A3. So generally, when we make calculations, not only simple, but as well as complex ones in Microsoft Excel, we try to use cells instead of numbers because you want to make relationships between cells. So after that, when you change the value of one cell, every other cell affected related to that cell has its result affected. So now let's say that I go to cell B4 and I type equals B3 minus B2. So now I get the result 10, but if I change, for example, and now B1 cell from 10 to 30, that affects B3 because B1 added with B2 equals B3, but again at the same time B4 is affected because it is related to B3. And now let's say that I go to cell B5, so I type equals again, and now I say B4 multiplied, this is the simple, if we want to calculate a product, multiplied by B3, and that equals to 1350. And now again, if I change, for example, B2 from 15 to 7, B3 is affected, B4 is also affected, B5 is also affected, so they all change automatically. And at any time, if I mistakenly do something in Microsoft Excel, I can always use the undo button there, so you can go backwards up to about 100 moves by just clicking on the button you want, and this is the redo. So with that method, I go one movement, one action backwards and one action forwards. So now let's say that I have in cell B6, B5 divided by 30. So the result is 37, which is true. And now again, if I change, for example, B1 from 30 to 13, all the cells related to that cell directly or indirectly are affected, and they change automatically. So remember always the symbols again when you want to calculate a sum, minus, product, and a division with the slash button. Well, won't let me to type it directly. I will type it like this. So with slash symbol, I can calculate a division. All those symbols are all together on the right side of your keyboard, so you can find them very easily when you want to make calculations. And to make a more complex one, let's say that I go to cell A9 and I type equals. So now, considering the priority of calculations, because products and divisions occur first when they happen in the same equation with sums and minus symbols, with plus and minus symbols. So if, for example, I have A1 plus A2 plus A2, and I want this to be multiplied, for example, by A3, and if I leave it like this, the first calculation will be the product between A2 and A3, because products occur first. But if you want to first do this calculation and that the result of A1 plus A2 be multiplied by A3, we put the calculation we want to provide priority inside parentheses. So every calculation inside parentheses is prioritized compared to any other calculations. So that's exactly what happens. 20 plus 3 equals 23, and then 23 multiplied by 8, the result is 184. So this is the way to do simple calculations. One more thing, whenever you divide one cell divided by one other which is empty, the result will be an error, because every empty cell is considered to be equal to 0, so you cannot have 0 as a denominator, you cannot divide by 0. So whenever you get this error result inside a cell, just look inside the formula bar, find out which cell is the denominator. In that case is A10. So if you go to A10 and provide a value and insert a value, then the error does not exist anymore. Stay tuned, because when we move on to lesson 3, I will show you the autocomplete tool, which is very useful, and you can use it in many different ways in Microsoft Excel. Now you can either save the changes to the same file, or so you can just click on that floppy icon there, or you can go File, Save. But if you want to create a new file, for example lesson 2, because it is our second lesson, you can go File, Save As. You can browse to the folder you want and change the file name to lesson 2 and save our changes for that lesson. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.